Hey guys, Daddy out here from Dad Adventure TV. This is, I guess, episode 2 maybe in the Bronson and how she does on more pedally trails. In particular, I want to talk about the climbing of the bike. So, I'm 47. I am not in the best shape ever because I'm a desk jockey as a lawyer and don't get out to ride as much as I would like. It's also the beginning here of the season. It's end of March. DC, it's been a bad winter. I haven't gotten out that much because of the weather also. So for me, the way I pedal up trails is I get to the top, but I tend not to sprint up them. I'm more of the tortoise going up the trail as opposed to the hare. I'm not a big out of saddle, mash the pedals and power super fast up. I just don't have that kind of energy. I got it, and then I'm done by the time I get to the top. So I know what works for me, and that's more of a gear down, stay seated, pedal through. I mean, I do get up off the saddle when I got a little ledge or a lip or something coming up. But that's the way I tend to climb. And the reason I wanted to say that first is I think what I'm going to say about the climbing of the bike is dependent on probably what kind of climber you are. And I want you to understand where I'm coming from. So I'm not sure, what kind of a climber the bike would be, Bronson would be, as a mash the pedal sprinter, kind of sprint up the hill kind of bike. I will tell you, however, that for the way I ride, which is grind it out, never lose traction, just pedal through, power on, but not necessarily the fastest. The bike is awesome. This bike uphill never loses traction, stays planted, the front end doesn't lift up, and that's without even really having to worry about your weight. You don't have to focus on your weight in the front or the back or anything like that with this bike. You just stay seated and you put the power on the pedals. The front stays down, the back maintains grip. There's no bob. When you do get over roots and rocks, the rear suspension keeps that back wheel planted on the ground and going, so all the power you're giving it is powering you through and over those. It's just a really, really nice bike for climbing. Like I said, I'll never win any speed records for climbing, but in the tortoise and the hare scenario, if you're more the tortoise like I am, and you just don't like stopping and you don't like having to put your foot down, you want to power through it, but at your own pace, man, this bike will do it. I'm over here at Fairfax Lake Park. There's a lot of short, steep ups with fairly technical stuff, roots, rocks, things like that, some tight hairpin switchbacks, a couple places here, and man, she just lets me power through turns on the switchbacks without a problem. I will do a GoPro from here when the weather gets better. It's freezing cold out today, it's windy. I didn't feel like breaking out my GoPro, but I will do one eventually. But the bike just is sweet. I just power through. I guess the best way to describe it is I feel like a tank. You just endless traction, endless power. Nothing's ever going to stop you or get in your way, as opposed to feeling like a fighter plane where you're just nimble and zipping and speeding through stuff. Now on the downs, that's a whole nother story entirely, and I'll do the downs in another video. Right now I just want to kind of talk about the ups, because I think that is a question a lot of people have with a bike like this is, can I pedal it all day? Can I pedal it in pedal trails more? Is it really going to be a beast to lug around? I don't know. It's not for me. I love it. I couldn't go any faster on the ups on this bike anyway, because, like I say, just because of my shape, my physicalness. So, at any rate, those are my thoughts on some of the climbing. I will definitely get some videos as the weather warms up here. Probably do a whole video on just climbing of the bike, but she's awesome. Really is. Don't worry about climbs on this bike, pedaling this bike. No bob, endless traction, perfect seated position. Just allows you to just power through and go for days. So that's about it. See y'all out there on the trails.